got 70 international centuries and recently was awarded the prestigious Sir Garfield Sobers Trophy for being the cricketer of the decade, the one and only, the captain of the Indian team, the youth icon, Virat Kohli. Virat, thank you so much for your time. On behalf of everyone, let me extend a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jatin. It's great being here. Usually we do it in front of a lot more people in person, but yes, such are these times. But I'm glad that I could join the whole Herbalife family and have this conversation with a good friend like you.
Pleasure. I mean, friends must have taken a back seat on behalf of the entire family, Herbalife family, your extended India family and fans around the globe. Let me wish you many congratulations for this new journey, for becoming a parent. There is someone who can boss around the captain now.
Thank you very much. It's indeed the most amazing phase of our lives. As you mentioned, I've had quite a few accomplishments professionally, but I don't think bringing in another life into this world and taking care of that life, nothing is above it. That I think is the most special thing in the whole wide world.
Indeed, very special, Virat. Just like this session today, I'm not comparing you to completely different specials, but for all our family members from Herbalife who joined here today, it's a great opportunity to try and just get into your mindset. Because for an elite athlete to be able to share some wisdom is all that we've been craving. Let's just begin with the pursuit of excellence, Virat. Having known you for 10 years, it amazes just everyone in the fraternity how every single day you sort of redefine the definition of that. For you personally, this long career, how has the definition of in pursuit of excellence changed?
Well, it's been an amazing journey so far. To be honest, I never thought that it could go on for this long and with so much passion and intensity. I think we all have that drive inside us, but it takes a bit of a time to actually realize what to do with it. And that's exactly what happened in my career. I did have the drive from day one, but I probably didn't have so much belief in my abilities at the beginning. But that drive and that perseverance brought me to a stage where I realized my abilities. That if I didn't have that pursuit to become better or be the best version of myself every day, I wouldn't have reached my max potential. What I can provide for the team, I would never have realized it myself. Initial few years was all to do with getting into the side, making sure that I play as many games as possible, keep performing whenever I get an opportunity. I knew that I wouldn't get more than 3 or 4 to make a mark. And again, that perseverance, that pursuit of making the most of the opportunity and being my best and providing for the team really helped me to grab those opportunities as well. But beyond that, I think since 2012 is when I really started to chase excellence on a daily basis. Changed everything about my fitness. That I think for me was the game changer. I've been playing cricket since I was 8 years old. Practicing in an academy, so you can say started learning professionally. And even before that, I've been playing cricket, but changing my nutrition, changing my fitness routines, changing my training schedules was the one factor that made me realize how good I can be and what kind of a change it can bring to the whole environment and the whole team.
And we've seen that, Virat. I mean, it's trickled down right at the youngest levels of athletes, and not just in cricket. You've been inspiring athletes across different sports, and it's really a luxury that India has to have a role model like you. But let's talk about something which is not often discussed, but it's the harsh reality. When for an elite athlete, for the amount of sport that you play, failure is more of an everyday affair than success, which comes with the quantum of cricket that you play. And when you're a public figure, it's also failure in the public eye. So does it get easier or harder, to deal with failure when it's out in the open, when it's in front of the public too?
Well, it's difficult initially to process things in the right way. But I think beyond that, you need to understand that as an individual, you need to do what you know best. You need to fulfill your responsibilities, and in your heart that you're absolutely committed to play for the team every single day. Every time you step onto the field, you're only motive is to make sure that you provide to the team to make the team win. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Emotions run high, people criticize a lot, people celebrate your victories as well. But I don't think you can be pulled in by that. And I realized that over a period of time, you just need to be yourself, regardless of what people say or what the opinions are or what the criticism or even the praise might be. Praise doesn't add 50 runs to the scoreboard. Your score remains what it is. The victory remains how it is. It doesn't become bigger margin just because people are praising you, and you don't become a failure overnight just because people are criticizing you. So I think I've learned to sort of separate myself from that and make sure that I only play to fulfill my responsibilities. Yes, people get inspired by what I do, but that's just a byproduct of what I do. I'm being myself on the field, and I continue to be myself. I continue to be honest to myself first. Look myself in the mirror and ask myself the question every day: am I being honest to my work? Am I being honest to my hard work? And the answer every day has been yes. And till the time it's going to be yes, I'm going to continue to put in the same kind of effort. Not worrying about what people have to say, because I have had many different opinions at the start of my career as well about me, and now they've completely changed, which I didn't strive to do. My only effort all the time was to bring in everything that I have on the field for the team. I've given my heart and soul for the team since the day I started playing, and I'll continue to do that till the time I continue to play, because that for me is the most important thing beyond all the runs and the records and the milestones. It's what you provide on the field and how grateful you are for the opportunity to play for your country.
And that's the assurance that keeps the Indian fans express chugging along. It's a great feeling to have your skippers giving it all every single time and taking the team along. But Virat, there is an age-old saying that it gets very lonely at the top. You've climbed these steps, of the ladder. You're right at the top. But if it is lonely at the top, how do you validate your thoughts to know that you're on the right path?
Well, it's something very interesting. Till about 2014, till the time I became captain of the Test team, I was still in that zone of it's lonely at the top, because I was performing at my prime best, and I was doing really well. There were a lot of eyes on me. There was a lot of expectation from me. So I did feel the pressure even then as an individual. But I think from 2015, it became more than about myself. It became more about the larger picture, the culture of the Indian cricket team, the culture of Indian cricket in general, and what opportunity I have to provide to that on a daily basis. My intent, my motivation was always to keep Indian cricket on top, to keep Test cricket on top. And that was an obsession that I had. So, this feeling of it's lonely at the top went away quite quickly in terms of thinking about myself as an individual, because for me, from that day onwards, it's all about what can I do for the team? What can I do for the players that are going to play in the next generation? What kind of a culture, what kind of a template you want to leave behind so that Indian cricket stays on top. And when your focus is solely on that on a daily basis, you go beyond yourself. You start thinking of so much more and so many more people, and that I think is the biggest blessing for anyone. That's what leadership means to me. And when I got the opportunity to do that, all these notions of it's lonely at the top went out of the picture. Yes, life as it is now, the reality of our lives as it is now, it's difficult. You can't do the normal stuff that you would love to do. That comes with part of the job, and you have to accept that as an individual. You know that after a few years, when you're done playing, that things probably will slowly get back to normal, and other people come in and they start being a part of this whole process, and they go through the same phase that I'm going through right now. So it's a natural progression, but beyond that, I've never really thought of being too low or being beaten down just because I've been at the top of my game. It's all been about the team and what can I provide for the general culture of Indian cricket.
Now, the next question is something that I've always enjoyed asking leaders, led teams, because there comes a point when you're appointed the captain, you have members in the team that are either going to be more experienced than you are or are going to be older than who you are, and it happens across sports. And it's lovely how the baton of the Indian team is passed after one captain to another fantastic player and leader. But what's the toughest part? When you're leading a side where you might have more experienced or older players, what's the sure that you're doing it the right way?
Well, the toughest bit is to just be honest to the job. I've been very lucky that I had a captain who was so understanding and who understood transition so beautifully, and the amount of mutual respect we both had and still continue to have, along with the friendship that we have, really helped us go through this transition very smoothly, because both of us operated on only one principle, which was honesty. Playing for the team all the time, no problem in intent, no second thoughts about anything. Me and him always were on the same page when it came to the team. What does the team want us to do? We're going to do that, and that's why there were no issues ever. I think staying honest and totally committed to the job that you have and what the job requires you to do can be the most difficult thing if you have individuals who sort of aren't in the right headspace to understand the decisions that you make. But that's the challenge that comes with the job, and I've always been very honest with what I wanted to do as a captain, what the team required at that particular time, and I've followed those decisions and my instinct to the hilt, regardless of what it might be perceived like, and that I probably think is the toughest part of the job. But in terms of transition, it was amazingly smooth because of MS and me being good friends and having a great understanding, and just carrying on doing the job for the team, even through that transition phase.
Now that we're talking about complete honesty, it's almost like a heart-to-heart, and you're opening up beautifully. How do you yourself, you've already mentioned what's important is what the team thinks. When you assess a game, you assess a performance. How do you hold yourself and the team accountable and responsible?
Well, it's not only game day that you suddenly stand up and say, we have to be accountable and responsible for what we do. I think it's the work that happens behind the scenes. So if on a daily basis, you take care of the nutrition that's been suggested to you by the trainer and people who are in charge of it, the trainer gives you a program, you come to practice, whether you're required to catch 100 balls, and if you do 90, then you're probably not being committed or on that particular day true to your responsibility for the team. So these small things, I think the reason for our success now that we see so regularly is the work behind the scenes. Everyone commits to what needs to be done at practice, in training sessions, whether it's nutrition, whether it's getting the right amount of rest, whether it's going to practice and doing precise practice and working on team plans. Everyone has committed to that, and everyone has done that. My style of captaincy, you can say, or leadership in general, is to lead by example. I would go to the practice sessions and I would want to do the things that the coaches require from us, or me as a captain, what I think the team should be doing on the field. I would go there and execute it actually with the boys as well. And that's something that I've thoroughly enjoyed. And everyone's taken that on board beautifully. The whole team has bought into that idea, has bought into that concept that our efforts at practice, our fitness levels, our mental setup, I think is a byproduct of your fitness levels. If your body is strong enough, you can think well. If your body is not strong enough, you won't be able to think well. You won't be able to persevere. You won't be able to, be in the contest for long periods of time because your body is breaking down. I think when everyone understood the importance of that, we really became that team that never gives up, that team that will strive and fight for everything. And that eventually gives you the most amount of satisfaction that, we play to win and we are in the fight all the time. And now every other team in the world knows that. So as a captain, as a leader, I couldn't be happier knowing that, everyone's really bought into the idea and the results of which we see every day. And it's so much more enjoyable to play in that space where every game you're going into, you can win. That's the most beautiful feeling.
And it's just incredible to see in Australia that feelings trickle down to even the bench, and that's just the performance they were. Like you said, the world knows it, every single team knows it, and it couldn't be the bigger example that we've just seen in recent times. So would you say, Virat, that in the journey of growth, it's actually these small things that make a big, or rather the biggest difference?
They do. Look, as I said, some time ago you spoke of people's perception and what they look at things or how they look at things and what they perceive and how they receive it. It's very different from the reality that we go through within the team. It's very different from the team room environment. It's very different from what happens in the change room. Drastically different. Because people eventually see the results on the field. As I said, we are living that reality on a daily basis. So when the camera is not on us, what do we do? How we speak, how we communicate, what are the interactions between the team? What is my conversation with the boys? Similarly, Jinx would have done that with the team as well in Australia when I came back. These are the things which go unnoticed, and people eventually, just react to the results, which is fair because they don't see the work behind the scenes. But we understand the work that goes on behind the scenes. Even a smallest conversation at a casual coffee shop somewhere back in the day when we could go around, or even now when you can just sit down and have a cup of coffee